What's up guys, my name is Stoody and I'd like to welcome you all back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my round 15 tips for the 2024 AFL season. Before we get into this week's tips, let's go ahead and see how I went last week. So last week I got every single tip correct. I got 6 out of 6 tips correct. I also want to make mention that the Richmond tip against Hawthorn does count, as that match was rigged. So before we get into this week's tips, I want to talk about the game I went to last week. I went to the Collingwood versus North Melbourne game. For those of you who don't know, I can only go to Sunday games of footy, so I went to the Collingwood North game. So basically, that game was insane, obviously. North Melbourne choked a 54-point lead while being protected big time by the umpires. I mean, and it's absolutely hilarious how big of sooks some of these North Melbourne supporters are. Look, some North Melbourne supporters were gracious in defeat. Because I was wearing a Collingwood scarf at the game, they all thought I was a Collingwood supporter, right? So I sort of pretended to be a Collingwood supporter. I never mentioned that I'm actually a Richmond supporter and that I'm just wearing a Collingwood scarf. Mainly because my dad's a Collingwood supporter and because I just fucking hate North. Because they're all a bunch of feral dogs, especially their fan base. I mean, and they've had feral plays over the years as well. I could name plenty. So some of them were like, good game, mate, that sort of thing. I'm like, yeah, good game. You boys will be up there in a few years. Just be patient, that sort of thing. Because obviously, you know, you feel for the guys that are good fans because their team just blew a 54-point lead and lost, right? But then it's the dickheads that make me laugh my ass off at them, at their misfortune. So here's the thing. Dickheads want to have a cry over Nick Dacos getting a few free kicks when he should have got a million free kicks because he was getting dog tagged, right? Illegally tagged. Many free kicks should have went to Dacos. Right, Collingwood were getting robbed massively by the umpires throughout the game, especially in the second quarter. That Tristan Sherry fucking push, that Jaff did not even fucking touch him. Literally did not touch him. It happened like at the end, like I was sitting behind the goal, sort of on the forward pocket. It happened at about the half forward flank. So I had a good view of it. Jaff did not touch Sherry. Sherry fucking just dove into the stands, and that robbed Collingwood a goal. So the dickheads that think Northwood robbed a goal at the end, it balances out, you know, because Sherry should not have had a shot on goal there. That should have been a boundary throw-in. He was never fucking touched by Jaff. And Sherry decided to have a big old fucking go at fans in the crowd as well. Like, why don't you do your fucking job and play football, mate? Like, you don't need to mouth off at the fans. Sherry's a fucking wanker. When I do my top 50 most hated plays in the next few weeks, he'll be on it. That's for certain. He's certainly made the list for that. And that wasn't the only thing either. I mean, plenty of fucking free kicks that should have went to Collingwood didn't go to Collingwood, and plenty of free kicks that went to North should not have gone to North. So Collingwood were robbed but defied the match fixing. And these North fans, there was this one North fan just walking around as we're about to like go onto the train, right? He's all like, Collingwood fucking suck. Good luck trying to win the premiership this year. It's like, mate, your team's on the bottom of the fucking ladder. You're the ones that suck. You blew a 54-point lead. You had the help of the umpires and you couldn't even win. You guys are shit. And another thing, this other North fan on the train. So the guy that was going around saying Collingwood suck, he was a younger sort of guy, probably around about 20 or so. But this other North fan on the train, he was super fucking salty over Nick Dacos. It's insane. This guy's probably about 40 or so. He was middle-aged. He had his daughter with him, who was about 12. So good fucking example, mate. What he was doing, right, someone's phone went off, a Collingwood fan's phone went off, and they had the Collingwood, ringtone. And as that was going off, he started singing a parody of the Collingwood song saying, oh, they're cheats or whatever. Bad old Collingwood forever, they know how to cheat the game or some shit like that. And then he goes, yeah, Nick Dacos is protected, as he was about to go off the train. Yeah, give everything to Nick Dacos and all this other shit. It's just fucking embarrassing. He embarrassed himself big time in front of everyone. And we were all just laughing our asses because, like, I was standing sort of near the door that he was going out. So I was pretty close to him. So it was sort of directed towards me and a few other Collingwood supporters that were near me. But I'm not a Collingwood supporter, so I don't give a shit. I was laughing my ass off at him. it was fucking embarrassing. Now, my dad actually bought a Nick Dacos bobblehead. When I bought a Collingwood scarf, he bought a bobblehead. He showed this guy the fucking bobblehead, the Nick Dacos bobblehead. It was hilarious. He was not happy at all. And when he got off the train, we were all laughing at this guy who was a massive sook. Fucking hell. One salty motherfucker. You see why I hate North Melbourne now? They have the worst fan base in the AFL. And I can guarantee you guys 90% of the fans that were at the game were Collingwood fans. It was a North home game. There was fuck all North fans. Fuck all. They're bandwagoners. They are fuckwits. For the most part. There is some that were alright. You know, I will admit. But there's some serious fuckwits in the North Melbourne fan base. And I'm sure most of the fuckwits would not have gone to the game. 100%. They wouldn't have even watched the game. You know, I wouldn't have watched the game if my team was that shit for that long either. I would have given up by now for certain on AFL. I would have given up a long time ago. But anyway, let's just get into these tips. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little story. Friday night, I'm glad to be saying Friday night. I'm so glad those Thursday night games are gone. We have Carlton taking on Geelong at the MCG. I'm going to tip in Carlton in this one by 20 points. Geelong coming off their bye, and it's pretty well known that Geelong are awful after their bye. They have a terrible record after the bye. And for that reason, plus because Carlton are a better team, I'm going to be predicting Carlton to win this one. It's at the G. Carlton, they were robbed big time last time they played against Geelong. I mean, Geelong were severely protected by the umpires. Ollie Henry dog-shotted Zach Williams to hit a goal as well, and that changed the whole momentum of the game. It should have been a free kick to Zach Williams, but no, the umpires just let it go. It reminded me a bit of the time that sniper on Prestia that robbed Richmond a goal, and Richmond went on to lose that game by 3 points. So that was the game robber. It wasn't the same sort of snipe. It didn't knock Zach Williams out or give him a concussion or anything. But that was still a dog shot from Ollie Henry. That's why I fucking hate Ollie Henry. Not only is he a traitor, because he left Collingwood for success, but he's also a fucking dog. Yeah, Carlton will win this game because they're simply the better team. The only way Geelong win this is due to match fixing again, 100%. Moving on to Saturday afternoon, we have Port Adelaide taking on Brisbane at the Adelaide Oval. I'm going to tip in Port Adelaide in this one by 17 points. The only way Brisbane can win this one is due to match fixing as well. And honestly, I might even change my tip to fucking Brisbane by a rigged amount because Butters has been falsely suspended. Now, it's pretty obvious that Andrew Dillon did this to fuck me over in Supercoach. So that's not a surprise, and they're probably trying to fuck Port Adelaide over as well in this game. But I'm still going to tip Port Adelaide because they're the way better team. It's at home for them. Brisbane are shit. The only way Brisbane will win this game is due to match fixing. So regardless of whether Port win or lose, this counts as a correct tip anyway, pretty much. You can guarantee it. So moving on to Saturday twilight, we have the GWS Giants taking on Sydney at NG Stadium, where whatever the fuck that is that Giants Stadium. They need to stop changing the fucking names. But I'm going to tipping the GWS Giants in this one by 5 points. Most people have tipped Sydney, but I'm going to go GWS in this one. It's at GWS's home ground. And also, Sydney are due for a loss. So I feel like the Giants, they'll get the win here. Giants are due for a few wins, whereas Sydney are due for a few losses. So I'm going to tip GWS in a bit against the grain. It's not an upset, obviously, but some fuckwits might think that. But you know, GWS are as good as Sydney, if not maybe even better. Because when it comes to finals time, Sydney won't win the flag. I can promise you guys that. So yeah, GWS to win this one, I think. Moving on to Saturday night, we have Melbourne taking on North Melbourne at the MCG. This one's a bit interesting because Melbourne are in some terrible, terrible form. They are coming off the bye though, so they've had a chance to, you know, refresh a bit. They have Petrarca out for the season, so I don't think Melbourne can make the 8. When it comes to North, they're actually in some decent form. They beat West Coast and they almost beat Collingwood, but that was due to match fixing. I'm going to tip Melbourne in this one by 21 points, but I can easily see Melbourne playing really terribly in this one and somehow losing to North Melbourne. It'll be pretty funny if they do lose to North, but you know, it probably won't happen, but it might happen. So surely Melbourne get the job done, but I'm sure they'll have some issues getting the job done. Moving on to Sunday afternoon, we have Essendon taking on West Coast at Marvel Stadium. Now, because I can only go to Sunday games, people are asking me, am I going to this game? The answer is probably not, because it's a shit game. That's pretty much why. I'm not going to go to every single Sunday game that I can get to, but I will go to most. I will go most Sundays, but I think this is a Sunday that I'm going to skip because it's fucking West Coast. I'm going to be tipping Essendon in this one by 72 points. West Coast are garbage. I mean, I'm pretty sure Harley Reid's still out, so they're screwed. They couldn't even beat North at home. They couldn't beat St Kilda at home, so they're screwed. They're going to get smashed by Essendon. Essendon are coming off a loss, and they had the bye, so they'll be refreshed, and I think Essendon, this should be a murder, this one. What else is there to say? This is the most obvious tip of the round. And now on Sunday, twilight, we have Fremantle taking on the Gold Coast Suns at Optus Stadium. I'm going to be tipping Fremantle in this one by 33 points. Obviously, Fremantle won't be happy with their performance against the Western Bulldogs. I didn't see that game, but I saw they got fucking annihilated. So they'll be pissed off and will be looking to bounce back from that. Whereas the Suns, they are fucking terrible away from home. They have not won a game away from home. So I think Fremantle should be able to get the job done here. Whenever Gold Coast are the away team, I never tip them. That's the guy. That's the trick to this. Never tip Gold Coast if they're the away team. So because they cannot play away from Metricon or Tayo. They can play in Darwin and Gold Coast, but not anywhere else. So I'm tipping Fremantle. They should be too strong for Gold Coast, who just can't win it away from home. But yeah, so those are my tips for this round. Feel free to leave your tips in the comment section down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment like this. Be sure to become a channel member. Just click the join button next to my name. Also, be sure to subscribe to my premium member, Sean Ducks. Link to his channel is in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channels. Be sure to subscribe to my backup channel, Stoody TV. And also be sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Stoody Archives. Links to both of those are in the description. Also, be sure to join my Discord server, East Coast Australian Sports Community. Link to that is in the description. Also, be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, and also have TikTok. The username for all those is StoodyYT. Links to all of those will also be in the description. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.